Hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. I was totally not planning on filming this video. It wasn't even a thought in my head to do until like 10 minutes ago. But I recently did a video of all of my highly anticipated fall book releases, and since actually making that video, I've referenced the list, the Amazon list that I created for that video so many times. So basically I was gonna do a video like that every season, but this is where this video comes in. My fall release video was for September, October, and November. So with winter officially starting at the very end of this month, I was kind of starting to look up releases for like December, January, February kind of time. What I realized while doing that is there's actually some more books in November that are going to be coming out that I had no idea about when I was filming my fall releases. And I think that's kind of the problem with doing these like months in advance. There's bound to be some that are going to fall through the cracks. So I feel like if I do them month by month, it'll be a lot easier to keep track of, but then also I'll be able to find more. Not that I need to like buy more books, but I want all the options. So anyway, all of that being said, let's go over some of the November releases that I am the most excited for. So there are 6 books, so not too many, and there are 2 specific release dates that all of them kind of fall under. The first one being November 7th, which is the bulk of the books. Honestly, probably the one that I am the most excited for this entire list, but also probably just like the entire year. Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Iron Flame is basically the sequel to Fourth Wing, and when Fourth Wing came out, I was so resistant to reading it just because of all of the hype that it was getting. But honestly, Fourth Wing is one of my absolute favorite books of the year. It's essentially about a girl who goes to a magical school to become a dragon rider. Fourth Wing literally had every single thing that I could have possibly wanted in a book, all crammed into this one story. It's got romance, it's got spice, it's got magic, dragons, a magical school setting, tournaments, like literally all of my favorite things. So obviously I am very excited for Iron Flame, which again is the sequel. Don't quote me on this, but I feel like I heard or read somewhere that this is supposed to be like a trilogy. So I think we're gonna get another book after this one as well. Actually, no, it was a TikTok that I saw and it said 5 books. So I mean, if that's the case, I'm even more thrilled. The next book that we have is Nightbane by Alex Astor, and this is also the second book in a series. I don't know how long the series is supposed to be because honestly, this series in general is very brand new to me. I haven't even read the first book yet, which is Light Lark, but this is one of those books that like every time I go to Barnes & Noble, this book in particular catches my eye. And I honestly don't even know exactly what this book series is about, but I did kind of read one sentence and I was like, sold. Welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears to host the Centennial, a deadly game that only the rulers of 6 realms are invited to play. So automatically, right off the bat, just from that, any kind of tournament or games to the death, and it's got like fantasy elements like magic and things involved, 1000% sold. Like that is my favorite thing. So that's literally all I read from the synopsis before I added it to my cart, but let's go ahead and keep reading. The Centennial offers the 6 rulers one final chance to break the curses that have plagued their realms for centuries. Each ruler has something to hide. Each realm's curse is uniquely wicked. To destroy the curses, one ruler must die. Isla Crown is the young ruler of Wildling, a realm of temptresses cursed to kill anyone they fall in love with. They are feared and despised and are counting on Isla to end their suffering by succeeding at the Centennial. To survive, Isla must lie, cheat, and betray, even as love complicates everything. Yeah, that literally sounds so good. Definitely getting Lightlark, like I said, and then on November 7th, I will be getting Nightbane. Next up, I have a little bit of a wild card. So this is Hunt on Dark Waters by Katie Robert. The first few months of my channel, I actually talked about Katie Robert quite a bit. I've read several different things from her. She did the Wicked Villains series, which I've read the entire thing. Those are basically like smut, and it did take me a bit to get used to. Like the first couple ones that I reviewed, I wasn't really a fan of, but then as you kind of go into the series, or as I went into the series, I got used to the smuttiness of it first off, but then also the story started to build more and they started connecting more. So it got better as I went along, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And then I did read The Neon Gods. I just read the first book in that series and I did like it. Either way, she's kind of a mixed bag for me. Like sometimes I love the books, sometimes they're just kind of like okay. But I do feel like at this point she's probably maybe not necessarily an instant buy, but like I'm definitely gonna look into whatever she writes, if that makes sense. And this is the new book from her, and it is book 1 of 2, it says, so this is already automatically gonna be at least a duology. Evelyn is a witch with a perfect storm of impulses, terrible taste in bed partners, sticky fingers, and a lust for danger. After she steals from her vampire ex and falls through a portal to another realm, she's fished out of the waters by a band of seafarers and their telekinetic captain. She's immediately given a choice: join their ship's crew or die. And it also looks like it's going to be dual perspective, which I love, especially in like romance type of situations, because we have another perspective from someone named Bowen, and it says, Bowen has no memory of his life before he became one of the... I totally don't know how to say that. He and his band of pirates are bound by vow to patrol through Threshold, the magical sea in between realms, keeping the portals to other worlds safe. When he rescues Evelyn, he doesn't expect to be attracted to the unflappably brassy pickpocket. The longer he spends in her presence, the more he begins to question if his heart is the next thing she'll steal. I don't know 100% honestly if I'm going to get this book. If my library gets it, I will 100% check it out. If it's cheaper on Kindle, I might do it there. Because honestly, also, I don't like the cover of this book. And it's really hard for me to want to buy books physically if I hate the covers. So we'll see about this one. This one's like a 50-50. Let me know what you think. And then the last release that I have for November 7th is a cutesy, like fluffy romance, and it's called The Good Part by Sophie Cousins, something like that. I haven't really been in a fluffy romance mood for quite some time, but this one does sound kind of cute. It says, Lucy Young is 26 and tired. Tired of fetching coffees for senior TV producers, sick of going on disastrous dates, and done with living in a damp flat with roommates who never buy toilet paper. After another disappointing date, Lucy stumbles upon a wishing machine. Pushing a coin into the slot, Lucy closes her eyes and wishes with all her might, please let me skip to the good part of my life. When she wakes up the next morning to a handsome man, a ring on her finger, a high-powered job, and 2 storybook perfect children, Lucy can't believe this is real. Especially when she looks in the mirror and staring back is her own 40-something face. As Lucy begins to embrace new relationships and the perks of maturity, she'll have to ask herself, can she go back to her previous life? And if so, can she stand to leave the good part behind? I definitely feel like this is supposed to be like a live in the moment, appreciate where you're at kind of a situation. But honestly, I could use some of that. I do feel like I'm in the process of kind of like building a better life for myself, and sometimes there are definitely days where I just like want to skip over the rough patch and just get to the final result. But that being said, I would be absolutely horrified if I woke up and 20 years had passed. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to our last 2 books of November, which both are gonna be released on the 28th. And the first one is another fluffy romance, but this one's gonna be from Lynn Painter, who is one of my favorite fluffy romance writers, and this one is called Betting on You. And I don't actually know if this is young adult or adult. She does kind of flip-flop between the two, and Lynn Painter is definitely a like instant buy. I don't care what it is, what it's about, I'm buying it. So right off the bat, the first sentence of the synopsis says, when 17-year-old Bailey, so this is going to be a young adult, but it says, when 17-year-old Bailey starts a new job at a hotel water park, she is less than thrilled to see an old acquaintance. Oh, yeah. I remember what this one's about. I did mention this book and Iron Flame in my fall release video, so these ones are going to be a little bit of repeats. So I do apologize about that if you've seen both of these videos. It's going to be a little repetitive because we do have that overlap, but starting with next month, December, it'll be all brand new books. But anyway, this one is basically about 2 teenagers that work at a hotel water park, and I guess they had some like previous beef, but with working with each other, they kind of find common ground, they become friends. From the synopsis, it does seem like it's going to be very similar vibes to Better Than the Movies, which is one of my favorite Lynn Painter books. So I'm pretty sure that I've read every single one of Lynn Painter's books so far, and I've loved all of them. I have no doubt in my mind that I will also love Betting on You, so that is definitely going to be something I get. And then last but not least, for our November releases, we have To Kill a Shadow by Catherine Quinn. It does look like it's going to have some purple sprayed edges, which I love that all these books are coming out with like sprayed edges now. Honestly, I feel like a lot of Fourth Wing's initial hype was because of the sprayed edges. Like, I feel like a lot of people bought that book because it had really cool sprayed edges. I almost bought it because of that, but it was like $30, so I skipped out on it. Totally regret that now. But I feel like that was kind of like the initial push to get that book, and then obviously people read it, they loved it, yada yada yada. And I don't think like no one had sprayed edges before. Like, I know that Rebecca Yarros was not the first one, but ever since that, I feel like a lot more books have come out with oversprayed edges. And I think that's kind of funny. And I'm definitely not complaining. I freaking love it. Anyway, what really grabbed my attention with this book, this is another like fantasy romance, and what grabbed my attention the most with this one is I think it's gonna be from the male perspective. And I am so excited about that. Jude Maddox knows nothing of love or even light. He knows only his grim duty as the hand of death, which is also another thing that I'm excited for. Anything that has to do with death, like as a person, I love. To lead the knights of the Eternal Star into a land filled with nightmares and certain demise. It's only when he sees her, a young woman with wild amber eyes who's as fierce, defiant, and swift as the shadow beasts themselves, that he feels the warmth of life in his blood. The other knights may fear their lethal commander with his hard, merciless demeanor. Outcast Kiara Frey sees only a leader, a man who knows how to survive, someone like her. But wanting him is as treacherous as the shadows themselves, and just as seductive. So it does actually seem like it might be multiple perspectives, which is fine. I love a good dual POV, but I am kind of hoping, and it does seem to lean heavier on the male's perspective, so crossing our fingers. And with that, those are all of the books that I am the most excited for that will be released in November. If you have any other books that you're looking forward to that are going to be released, let us know in the comments down below. Again, I'm sure that there's so many other ones, but my favorite genres are fantasy, romance, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the things that I focus more on. And yeah, I think that's everything that I have to say. I hope you guys have had the most amazing of days, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye.